Hello, everyone, and welcome to another video with the Book Brood. These tier ranking things have been pretty popular, so I have decided that I am going to do a tier ranking of all the romance books that I have read so far, or at least the ones I've tracked on Goodreads, because I found out I've only read like 60, which even Heidi agreed that seems pretty low for the amount of romance I've been immersing myself in. So a little bit about the tiers here that I have. So it's going to start out at the top with All About It, and so that's a great book that I really enjoyed. I'm going to reread, and I will forgive any of its faults because I liked it so much. The next two are pretty much the same category, but I wanted to separate out sort of a theme of each of the books. So Simply Sweet is what it is. It's simple, it's sweet, and I really liked it, but it wasn't quite all about it. And then It's Getting Hot in Here. That's really more of a steamy romance novel there, but one that I really still enjoyed. Next down is getting more to the judgy parts. So it's I Had Fun, but Let's Just Be Friends. So one that was okay-ish, but probably not going to reread. Ghosted, that is ones for the ones that that's a ranking for the ones that I found very forgettable and honestly just forgot about. And then You, that's not okay. That's pretty obvious there. It's a book that I didn't enjoy the themes in it, and thought it was, well, just to be honest, probably a little rapey. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going here. So first one I have up here is A Sorceress of His Own by Diane Duvall. This was the first Diane Duvall book I read. It was supposed to be an enemies to lover theme, at least that's what Audible had it set as. But they were never enemies in it. But I have to put this one in All About It because that started off my whole obsession with Diane Duvall. And if you've been watching our romance challenge that Heidi and I have been having, it's part of my favorite series of romance books. Now, Almost Perfect by Julie Ortolan. This one was the first book in the Perfect series I read by her. I read the whole series, and I thought this one was okay, but I'm going to put it in. I had fun, but Let's Just Be Friends, because I didn't really connect too much with the characters. There was nothing wrong with them, but you know, we're not going to start anything serious there. Armed and Dangerous by Abigail Rue. I just finished this one yesterday. This one I think I'm going to put in I Had Fun, but Let's Just Be Friends. I do like some of the cut and run books, but it's starting to get a little, I wouldn't say boring, but it's just feeling like it's kind of repeating the same thing. But I can't explain too much because we haven't filmed the video for our talk on that one, and I'll definitely expand on that one more. Awake in the Darkness. This is book 8 in the Immortal Guardian series. This is Stanislav's story. I'm actually going to put that one in Simply Sweet because it was not the best of the book. I did really like it, but it's not one that I'm like all about. I don't know. I'll tell you what, I reserve the right to throw that one back in All About It. Bite the Big One. This one is by, let me look this up real quick. I can't really read it from the thumbnail there. Kara is her last name, I know. Sharon Kara. Bite the Big One goes into All About It. That book was so funny. Oh my God. That book was funny. And the characters were super, super sweet, super normal too. Just very everyday normal characters, and then a supernatural element thrown in there. That one was All About It. Black Sheep by Megan March. This one I read for Owls. Yeah, as my contemporary. It was fine enough, but not one I'm probably going to revisit, though I am going to read the sequel here. I actually have it on my light side reading prompt lists for Light v Dark readathon that I'm competing in right now. Taking a break to film this video here, which I'm sorry, light side. I'm going to represent today, I promise. All right, so now Blackwater by T.L. Brown. I remember I liked this one on the read through, but it goes in ghosted because I couldn't even tell you the name of the character in that. Blades of Darkness by Diane Duvall. This one is book 7 in Immortal Guardians, and that one goes into all about it. I totally love Aiden, the character, the main male character in this one, and Dana, his love interest, is pretty awesome too. Bonds of Need by Linda Acher. This one, was this the second one? Yeah, this was the second one. I guess I'll go ahead and put that one, and it's getting hot in here. It's a BDSM one about some friends that own a BDSM club, and they, pair off as to the clients that come in and stuff. I did like the characters in book 2. Well, I guess I like the female character in book 2. Bonds of Trust, which was book 1 of that same series by Linda Acher. I'm going to put it in I had fun, but let's just be friends. That's not one I really need to revisit again. Captivated and Entranced by Nora Roberts. I read this one, both of these, for my Owls challenge, and it was fine. They were fine. They were okay. They took place in the 90s, and so there was no, like, early 90s, maybe in the 80s, but there were no cell phones. It talked about, picking up your phone on your wall and stuff and getting tied up in the court. Very nostalgic for someone that remembers those times. But that's probably about all I'll remember from those. Captive by Heidi Robertson. Oh, that one got kind of cut off there. I'm going to put that one in all about it because that is the book that just started me off on my whole romance adventure. Still love it. Definitely will reread it, but it started the whole thing, so that one's definitely got to go in all about it. Nora Roberts, Charmed. So this is the third one in the Captivated and Entranced series. The Donovan Legacy is what that's called. I'm going to put that one ghosted, even though I just read it recently. It's going to be forgettable. I know that. Okay. Checkmate by R.L. Matthewson. This is book number 3 in the Neighbor from Hell series, and this one goes in, ew, that's not okay. There was straight up kidnapping, just very illegal things that happen between these characters. The premise is that they play pranks on each other all through their life, but these pranks were like tying them up, putting them in the back of the taxi, and sending the taxi cities or states away. That's not romantic, and that's not there's no romance in reconciling things like that. That's just that just makes you horrible. And it wasn't one way. It was both characters. It was the guy and the woman both doing those kinds of things to each other. So I don't find that endearing at all. Christmas from Hell. This was book number 7 in Neighbor from Hell. That one goes in all about it. I'm all about so that was kind of a silly man, straight man kind of dynamic between the woman who was very accident prone and then the man who is a paramedic. And so it was just a great match between those two, of him having to patch her up all the time because she's hurt someone or hurt him quite often as well. Cut and Run, I will put this one, I guess I'll put Cut and Run in Simply Sweet. I don't know if I'm going to reread it, but it's enjoyable enough. There's a lot of funny banter in there between the characters, and I can't go too hard on this series, because it's Heidi's favorite series. Dare to Stay, I'm going to put Dare to Stay in I Had Fun, but Let's Just Be Friends. This is part of the Puppy Love series by Georgia Beers. It's the 3rd book in that series. It was okay, but honestly, I'm starting to forget that one, so that might even fall down into Ghosted after a while here. Dawn of Darkness, I'm going to put into Simply Sweet, because it's not the best of the Immortal Guardians books. It is the first one, and it was good enough to have that I kept going in there. But it was really more the side characters that made you want to keep going in that book than the actual, characters, which um, is probably how a lot of people feel, because the author pretty much dropped the characters from this one off the face of the planet for, like, she barely mentions them in later books. Darkness Rises, this is book number 4 in the Immortal Guardian series. That one goes on all about it. That has my favorite couple of the entire series in there. Death of Darkness, this is book number 9 in Immortal Guardians. That one goes right to all about it, because that one's about the leader of the Immortal Guardians. And despite what Heidi will tell you, he is freaking cool. All right. This one, Dark Domination. Okay, this was a 4-part series of novellas. I guess I like them enough, but those definitely go. It's getting hot in here. That was like I found myself like looking over my shoulder to see if my mother appeared from from states away, because that one was so steamy. It made you feel nervous just listening to it, and lots of tee-hees there from me. All right, Delectable. This is book number 8 or 9 in the Neighbor from Hell series. I will put this one in I had fun, but let's just be friends. Nothing too memorable about that one. It was fine as a part of that series, but yeah, probably not going to reread it. Divide and Conquer. That one's going to go in I had fun, but let's just be friends. Yeah, it started to get way too many feelings in that one and not enough funny. So that's, how I feel about that one. Double Dare's going into Ghosted. That is book number 6 in the Neighbor from Hell series. I did not like the pair in that. Their whole conflict was that she wouldn't tell him that she was infertile, because he wanted, he liked the idea of a family so much, and so she couldn't tell him the truth about that, because total idiot premise of the plot only moves forward because everyone's being an idiot in it. Fire and Brimstone. I'll put that one in Simply Sweet. That's book number 7 in the, maybe it's 8. I don't know. I think it might be 8 in the Neighbor from Hell series by R.L. Matthewson. This one follows his nickname of the family is Lucifer, and he runs a restaurant called the Fire and Brimstone, and it's a thing between his a waitress that works there and stuff. There was nothing particularly wrong with it. It was okay enough, but it wasn't forgettable. It was all right. It was all right. It just doesn't quite deserve to be put in Let's Just Be Friends. Fish and Chips. That's book number 3 in the Cut and Run series. I'll go ahead and put that one in Simply Sweet. That one had a lot of funny moments in it. 2 FBI guys. They're totally in love and everything, but they have to pretend to be a married couple in an undercover investigation. The Love of Hades by Sasha Summers. This one was a Hades and Persephone retelling. I don't know if I'm going to reread it again. I enjoyed it enough. Yeah, so that's going to go, and I had fun, but let's just be friends. In Still Darkness, this is book 3.5 of the Immortal Guardian series. I have actually reread this one, and it's much more traditional, like human dating relationship instead of the, oh, you're a vampire-ish shock and awe, and then the love story. So I like that one for that element of it. Just Perfect is the second book in Julie Ortolan's Perfect series. I'm going to put that one in Simply Sweet too. That was my favorite of that series there, definitely, and that serves to get a little higher than Let's Just Be Friends. Lucky Suit, I actually just read this one yesterday for Light v Dark Readathon, and that one's going to go in Simply Sweet. That one had a lot of laughable moments, great characters, sweet characters. Yeah, so that fits perfectly. Misled by Catherine Kelly goes straight into Ew, That's Not Okay. That was very rapey, big age gap. Gross. My Lord Hades. This one got me into my Hades and Persephone retellings. I don't know if I'm going to reread it though. So that one's going to go into Simply Sweet. Even though I'm not sure I'm not going to reread it, it deserves to be better than Let's Just Be Friends. Night Reigns. This is book number 2 in the Immortal Guardians series. I'm going to put that one in Let's Just Be Friends because I have reread it, but on our romance challenge discussions, Heidi did bring up a lot of uncomfortable points in that book that I hadn't quite focused on, and now that she has had me focus on them, it's gone down in the tears, definitely. Night Unbound is book number 5 in the Immortal Guardians series. That one I'm going to put in Simply Sweet. I do enjoy that one, even though, so this one is about one of the few female Immortal Guardians, but an unfortunate thing that happens is that one is that she's like not the hero of her own story. It then focuses more on her male love interest. Like, it made her the victim, even though she's supposed to be just as badass as everyone else. So yeah, so that's unfortunate. 1 in a Million by Lindsay Kelk. That one's going to go into, you know what, I'm going to put that one in All About It. I really did enjoy that one. I thought that it was super sweet, definitely, but I had a really good time reading that one. The characters were a lot of fun. Perfection by R.L. Mathewson. That is book number 2 in the Neighbor from Hell series, and I'm gonna put that one in Simply Sweet. It was pretty sweet. Phantom Shadows, that's book number 3 in the Immortal Guardian series. That one definitely goes in All About It. So that one's about Bastion. He's sort of the black sheep of the Immortal Guardians family. He was actually the bad guy in the first book, so that's fun to have his redemption story there and see him fall in love. Phantom's Embrace by Diane Duvall. That one is book 5.5 in the Immortal Guardians. I'm going to put that one on I Had Fun, but Let's Just Be Friends. If you are reading through this series, you do want to read that one because there's story elements of it that you don't want to miss. But I skipped it on my whole reread through that series the last time round. Playing for Keeps. This is book number 1 in Neighbor from Hell. I'm going to put that in Let's Just Be Friends. It did kick off that whole series, but the couple is kind of boring after you get into some more of the more fun ones. Primal Law by J.D. Tyler. I am working my way through this series, but it's not, so it's about shifter wolves, secret agents. It's not as fun as Immortal Guardians. I guess that's just all I have to say about it there. Rendezvous with Yesterday, that is book number 2 in the Gifted Ones. That's the follow-up to A Sorceress of His Own by Diane Duvall. I'm going to put that one in Simply Sweet. I've reread it, but it doesn't quite get up to All About It. Rescued Hearts, that one's going to go into Simply Sweet. That's book number 1 in Georgia Beer's Puppy Love series. I really liked the couple in that. I thought they were a great match, and again, I thought they were simply sweet. Roomies by Christina Lauren. This one was I Had Fun, but Let's Just Be Friends. It was good enough. This was a fake relationship one, but it's slowly becoming forgettable. Run to You by Georgia Beers. That's book number 2 in the Puppy Love. That one's going to go into Simply Sweet also. I'll probably reread that one at some point here, and did enjoy it. Savage Awakening, that's book number 2 in the Primal Law. That one's going to go into, or in the Savage, Alpha Pack, that's what it is, in the Alpha Pack series. That one's going to go into I Had Fun, but Let's Just Be Friends. Shadow Strike, that is book number 6 in the Immortal Guardian series. That one's going in All About It. I totally loved Ethan and Heather's coupling, and yeah, so that one definitely goes into All About It. They're probably my second favorite couple in that whole series. Sticks and Stones is going to go into I Had Fun, But Let's Just Be Friends. That one was not a good follow-up to Cut and Run because it just seemed boring. The narrative was just like razor thin. The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen goes right up to the top. I freaking loved this story. I love the world, just the setting it took place in. The enemies to lovers is just perfect in this, and oh, what a great duology that was. The Captive by Jenny Foster, I'm going to put that in. I Had Fun, But Let's Just Be Friends. Even though I am working my way through this series, I'm probably not going to reread it, but I am enjoying the sci-fi element of it enough. The Game Plan by R.L. Matthewson, that one's book number 5 in the Neighbor from Hell series. And that one goes into I Had Fun, But Let's Just Be Friends, because I did not find anything all of that interesting about that. You know what? I'm going to put that one in Ghosted, because honestly, I'm really starting to forget about, I mean, I remember that story, but like I don't remember anything that was cute about it. The Kiss Quotient, that one goes into It's Getting Hot in Here. For as innocent as that book cover looks, oh my goodness, is that book steamy. Woo! I did enjoy the characters in that. I thought the dynamic was wonderful, but yeah, ooh, steamy. The Prey, this is book 2 in the Britannia Breed series. So the follow-up to The Captive, that one's going to go into I Had Fun, But Let's Just Be Friends for the same reasons. The Proposal goes in Ghosted. That's the Wedding Date book 2. Yeah, that one was just not the sequel that The Wedding Date deserved, and I talk about that in my most disappointing reads of 2019. The Proposition by Katie Ashley goes right into You, That's Not Okay. This guy is so sleazy, and he is so sleazy. And she brings up all these legitimate gripes with him all the time, and he's just like, no way, babe, that's not me. She's like, oh, you're right. Gross. All right, The Traitor Queen, that is the Bridge Kingdom book 2. That goes right up to All About It, because those could be, like, honestly, should be the same book, so we'd avoid that huge cliffhanger that had me hanging for almost a whole year. But it's all right, she's forgiven because of how good that follow-up was. The Wedding Date, I really like this one. That's going to go into All About It. Definitely, that story was so cute. The couple was super cute. And then The Wedding Party, which was book number 3, that one goes into All About It. I think that's my favorite of the entire series there. Yeah, those two were fantastic. Too Perfect is book 3 in the Julie Ortolan's Perfect series, and that one's going to go into I Had Fun, But Let's Just Be Friends. And then Truce is book number 4 in the Neighbor from Hell series. That was a historical Bradford romance. That one goes into All About It. I know I messed that up on my worst of 2019, but Truce was actually a great one. I was getting it confused with Checkmate. Yes, so there you have it. There is my romance reading adventures so far. I will share this template, though it's not really going to mean much to anyone else but me. So I hope you had fun watching me rank my romance reading adventures so far, and I will see you later.